from the Xfinity Lounge. It is the PHLY Eagles post-game show presented by Bet365 and Ashley Furniture. What an opening night it was for the Super Bowl defending Philadelphia Eagles. Not a perfect night. Certainly not a great start to the game when your best player on defense gets kicked out 4 seconds into the game. But nevertheless, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles persisted and won this game 24-20. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. Vinny Curry, Jamie Lynch, Les Bowen here. We're going to hear from Fran Duffy and E.J. Smith coming up in a little bit, but let's start. Let's go around the horn. Vinny, starting with you, give me your number one takeaway from the Eagles season opener.
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. I mean, it was 19 for 23, 2 rushing touchdowns. The man was playing great football, like making perfect decisions, getting the ball out of his hands, finding the open lanes, to keep the chains moving. I thought he played great.
I thought Jalen Hurts was fantastic in this game. One of the best performances I've seen from him in a while. As you said, Vinny, 19 for 23 for 152 yards. Of those 4 incompletions, I think 2 were throwaways, 1 was a drop. And he was awesome scrambling in this game, including the 2 touchdowns. Also 14 carries for 62 yards by success rate. It was, I believe, the 7th best game of his career, better than all of his games from last year except the Bengals game. He was awesome. We'll get to more of that as we keep going. Jamie, what about you?
My big takeaway is I don't know if the CD Lamb guy's got a future in the NFL.
Uh-oh.
That guy stinks. I mean, he gave the Eagles the game. No, I'm kidding. But they were fortunate he did drop 3 balls in the second half.
Yes.
Brian Schottenheimer with an interesting decision to kind of air it out there on 4th and 3. My big takeaway, I thought Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond were awesome.
Yeah.
I thought Jahad Campbell was everywhere tonight on the field. He got the forced fumble. Sorry for your loss there. I believe.
Yeah, very, very curious scorekeeping there. That looked like a Byron Young to me.
Got a little swooper action on that one.
We'll see.
Yeah, but I thought he was awesome. Zach Bond. They made some plays in coverage tonight in the end zone. I thought the linebackers.
The 2 of them both making plays down the seam on those DAC throws was awesome. Zach Bond chasing down Miles Sanders.
They was playing relentless. Like, you talk about pursuit to the football. That's textbook. The way those guys are playing tonight.
And I think we will get into this too, but like there are some things that week 1 you're like, okay, that doesn't necessarily matter. Let's see what happens as the season goes on. I think one thing that really did matter in this game was that Jahad Campbell looked like the real deal.
Yes. Yeah, for a rookie to do that opening night, like, the team you rooted for, you grew up with, it's banner night, your nerves, I'm sure, are like firing on all cylinders. You got the jitters, and to come out and play like that, what else could you ask for?
All right, Les, we'll go over to you.
What time is it? I'm not awake at this time of night.
12:34.
I got nice coffee right here.
My big takeaway, honestly, is this is like so many of the openers we've seen.
Yeah.
You always expect, especially in a good year when you think the Eagles are going to be really good, you expect them to come out and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And the reality is that we had this weird thing to start the game with Jalen Carter. And you also have Ben Van Sumeren, whom I think they were probably going to use on that running attack. But it never looks like that. It's never smooth. It's never easy. Only I can remember the year they played with the blue and yellow uniforms from 1933.
Kevin Curtis,
the Yellow Jackets.
That was a blowout win on opening day against a St. Louis Rams team that was one of the worst teams, certainly of the 21st century, if not all time. The reality is, opening games look sloppy, and there's a lot of stupid stuff, and you come out of it really puzzled over why they couldn't do this and couldn't do that. And they've got 17 games to
as week 1 games go. Actually, as we talk about it, this game reminded me a little bit of week 1 of the 2022 season when they went to Detroit. And it was a sloppy game, but like the force of will of Jalen Hurts was enough to pull them through.
I think that was like
game.
a 38-35 game or something like that.
Yes, and you were worried about the defense, and reasonably so. But like Jalen's true force of will took them through. And, listen, he doesn't get responsibility for CeeDee Lamb dropping those balls.
Sure.
But, Jalen, in a game where A.J. Brown had 1 target, which we'll get to as well, I mean, Jalen he just really was awesome.
To Les's point, last year in Brazil was kind of that sloppy, hard fought, just you found a way to win, and that's all that matters. Right. And there's a lot of good things to look at and hang your hat on. And you were missing perhaps your best, one of your best overall players in Jalen Carter. So, things should improve in big ways here. And Adoree Jackson stinks. That's my other takeaway. Hey, I'm done. I'm out. You can cut him tomorrow, and my life will continue.
I don't want to be
being
mean.
great.
I don't want to be mean just yet.
I don't know if it was a lot the coverages they were playing, but it just was. He was way off the ball on like 3rd and 1. He's 10 yards off the ball. I don't get. I did not understand it. I think Vic Fangio has kind of hinted that Adoree Jackson was going to start, but he also kind of has hinted that as soon as he gets Ja'Cory Bennett up to speed, that won't be the case. And I think by midseason it won't be, certainly.
Yeah, and you could see the game plan change within the game here because they started with basically Quinyon Mitchell shadowing George Pickens. Let's put our best cover guy on the outside receiver, and then let's hope that we can put enough help on CeeDee Lamb, whether it's if he's in the slot, we've got Cooper DeJean. If he's on the outside, we'll give Adoree Jackson a lot of help. And that was not working, and they had to change that up in the second half. And it did look a little bit better in the second half, but CD also had 3 drops.
I'm curious, how many guys was either rookies or second-year guys on that defense? The defense looked going to be very young, so a lot of mistakes.
More than they intended once Jalen Carter.
Thank God for Ball, playing relentlessly.
I was just going to say,
just to calm it down a little bit, but he might be the only veteran out there for
Vaughn and Blankenship are probably the 2 oldest guys on that defense.
Well,
Adoree
Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to be on the team tomorrow. Yeah. I'm good. Let's move on.
Let us know what your big takeaways are in the chat, all that good stuff. The one thing we haven't really talked about yet that we do have to talk about at the top is the Jalen Carter situation there.
Oh, boy.
The Spitgate where, as everybody's worried about Ben Van Sumeren, maybe his season's over, we get just the announcement, and you were at the stadium, Vinny, when the ref gets on the mic and it's like 98 crazy. Has been ejected from the game.
The line was insane. So so in the suite, right? Somebody was in the bathroom, so I go in the hallway. I was like, "What did he say? What did he say?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." So I come back. Out there, it was like, Jalen Carter's been ejected. I said, "For what?" And I had to go. Everybody was looking at their phones. It was so funny. It was kind of breaking news to the world. Yeah. Everybody's looking at their phone what?
Have you ever been spit on by an opponent?
No, never. No, never.
And that has always been a big no-no, right? I mean, there are people on social media trying to say, 10 years ago, this would have been, no big deal. No, you don't spit on somebody.
I don't know who said that. It probably would have been worse 10 years ago because social media ain't as big as it is now. Trust me, it would have been crazy.
I mean, you could see it very clearly that he spit on Dak Prescott right in front of the ref. You're going to get ejected for that.
Right.
But then later on, we see the footage that Dak sort of spit in the direction of the Eagles defense, and he's really smiling at Jalen Carter, and you can tell that he's egging him on. And you know what? That's not great by Dak, but Jalen Carter, you got to be smarter than that.
It's like the saying, I mean, it's like the saying goes though, man. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Yeah. So Dak Prescott, you spitting and you poking the bear. That's the wrong bear to poke.
So what do you think that would have been like in the locker room, Vinny, especially in that hour-long lightning delay, which we have not talked about yet, man. When all these guys are sitting in there? What is their relationship like with Jalen Carter in that moment? Jalen kind of let him out to dry. Jordan Davis and Moro Ojimo had to play 90% of the snaps tonight.
I think it was one of those. In his mind, he's probably thinking I'm coming to the aid of my guys. These guys spitting towards the defensive line direction, and
he knows
smiling,
he's got to be the big bad guy.
About it, yo, bro, I'm gonna walk him to Philadelphia in a different type of way. So in that locker room, he's probably thinking damn, I wonder how much that fine gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, there's speculation that he could be suspended for more than just this game. To me, that would be.
I'll tell you right now, he will not be suspended.
Troy Vincent, that's not taken to the extreme.
Yeah, come on, Troy. Pennsbury High School, don't do it to us.
But that would be ridiculous. I mean, suspensions are for. When was the last time somebody was suspended for something they did on the field?
He essentially got a
headshot. Yeah, exactly.
He didn't play a single snap.
Give him time served.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I do think, listen, Troy Vincent was, very against Jeffrey Lurie when it came to the tush push and all the talk of wet dreams. So this could be his chance for retribution, but I think it would be kind of crazy to suspend a guy for that.
And
But
the
the big
Chiefs.
thing here with this Carter thing is not only were they missing Jalen Carter, but it wasn't like they were missing him because he pulled a muscle 2 days ago, and they had they had
were able to
time to
plan
adjust
for
the
it,
plan
exactly.
and put somebody up that wouldn't have been up, like Robinson, I guess, Ty
Right, yeah.
Robinson.
Yeah.
They had nothing. They were just like, okay, now we got to play. Now what?
Jordan Davis, how's your conditioning?
Yeah,
buddy?
really.
Right.
Listen, though, you took the words right out of my mouth. Listen to this, though. Listen. To shine some light on it, Jordan played good, man.
He did.
Jordan played good. Everybody wanted to know
Couple
how
really
his
good pass
conditioning
rushes,
was.
yep.
Yes.
He missed that one sack.
Listen, we can tell you that he was tired, but he got back there. He won his one-on-one,
Yeah.
and then, man, I think Jordan Davis out of conditioning. That's funny. I was just about to say that, though. But he looked good, man.
He
But
did.
that's got to be so hard. I mean,
Yes.
to lose the centerpiece of the defense before the first snap with no way to do anything about that, I would have almost called a timeout. Like, okay. what are we-
Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt in the back of their heads. They're probably going like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
No double teams getting taken up in the middle of the line. No one-on-ones for me. It changes everything.
It really
and
did.
Javonte Williams, credit to Brian Schottenheimer
Yeah.
at first. They attacked it right away.
And then
right.
they stopped.
Yeah, and then they stopped.
Now, if you're on YouTube Live with us, you will notice that there are a few different changes to the way things are working in the chat. Jamie, what is going on with the Supporters Club, and how can people join?
Yeah,
and
we got the
support us?
Supporters Club going on. If you want to support us here at PHLY, it's right there. You get some custom emojis. Vinny, one of my jobs was helping create these emojis, and I got you a Saquon emoji.
Yeah.
So the only way you can get said emojis is there's 2 tiers of pricing if you want to support us. If you're the top tier, you get the behind-the-scenes weekly unique content we'll be putting out for you. The lower tier gets you the emojis and the banner and the loyalty badge and all that stuff in the chat. So you'll see some custom emojis popping up. You'll see some banners and all that stuff. So if you're a big fan of us here at PHLY and you're a super chatter, you might as well just become a supporter in our Supporters Club. And as Bo would say, as always, we love you if you become a supporter. And that's a custom emoji too, Bo.
Love that. And if you want, listen, you want to support Jamie, you can do that. And if you want to look like Jamie, you can join the PHLY Diehards and get access to the kind of merch that he's wearing right there. And now is the time to do it. We are running out of days for this sale, people. So $36 for the entire year. You can read Les Bowen's articles. You can read Fran Duffy's articles, EJ Smith's articles, to say nothing of all the other sports that we have covered. So please take advantage of that opportunity now. Okay, let's start.
Oh, we got
focusing-
some Quinyon Bays popping up in the chat.
Love that.
And real quick, Bo, I got to throw this out here. An anonymous $100 donation to Big Brothers Big Sisters of America.
All right,
Yeah.
it's giving September. We love that.
Thank you,
Support
Anonymous.
Big Brothers,
Let's give
Big
it up for
Sisters.
Anonymous.
That's fantastic. And you will notice that if you're watching live as well, the button there to donate to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Thank you.
What great work they are doing. Okay, let's talk about the offense. Settle down here for a second, because aside from Jalen Hurts' sort of superhero stuff tonight,
Right.
it seemed like in the first half they were in a great rhythm. It felt like Kevin Patullo was pushing the right buttons. And then in the second half, listen, this game was 21-20 at halftime, and it was 3-0 in the second half. The Eagles just scored 3 points. Like, where is A.J. Brown in the passing game? Where is DeVonta Smith in the passing game? Is it? Can we push it aside as this is just week 1, or do we have to be concerned about this? What do you think, Vinny?
I'm gonna push it aside and just say it's week 1.
Okay.
It's like Les said, like this is technically the starters type of preseason game.
Yeah.
Even though it's a
Right.
home opener and the starters really didn't play.
Yeah.
We had a lightning delay, so in the second half, everything looked real stale and stagnant. And
Tough timing for you, because it was right when you were about to leave the stadium to come over here.
It was
and
like
then all of a sudden,
stampede.
everybody's leaving.
It was like somebody turned the light on and roaches was running. Everybody was running to their cars. I said, "Are they really gonna leave off the light?" It was crazy. Yeah. So I would say not to push any panic buttons yet. And let's just be honest. Like between Saquon, AJ, and Jalen himself, the run game was kind of really there tonight.
Yeah.
and they were just gashing those guys.
Saquon had 18 for 60 on the
Yeah.
ground, and then also had 4 for 24 as a receiver in this game. And I actually thought that was one noticeable difference in, if you want to just call it the Kevin Patullo offense, was how often they were splitting out Saquon wide and allowing him to be a receiver. We didn't see that a ton last year, so I thought that was interesting. But Les, you have covered teams long enough. Your spidey sense was tingling a little bit about how much time AJ missed in the summer that you think maybe that he might not be all the way back.
Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, there was a lot of propaganda this week about how great he felt in practice, but reporters don't really watch practice.
Correct.
After
training camp is over.
I'd love to see. We'll see when the All-24 comes out what kind of routes he was running, how hard he was running them. I did see
the one catch he had. I mean, he looked a little ginger.
Yeah, it was an 8-yard catch. It wasn't like he really had to dig or anything. He had a hamstring. He was out. He missed the whole training camp. And I kind of think they just had him out there, to occupy part of the defense. It looked like to me. Maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but that's how it looked to me. On the run game, Dickerson tried to fight his way through.
We have not talked about that yet.
And ended up leaving the game for Brett Toth at a crucial point. Brett Toth, God bless him, Army guy, can play all 5 positions. I don't think he really plays any of them great, I just think it was a tough night offensively. Like I said, they probably had some Van Sumeren stuff piled up. They tried to use Granson as a fullback a few times, but it didn't look. The second half was a mess for both teams, I think.
So I just saw a piece of wild information. Ben Solak tweeted this out. Per ESPN Stats and Info, it was the first game with at least 41 first-half points, but 3 or fewer second-half points since the Texans-Colts in 2020, a ludicrous game in which the only second-half points were scored by a DeForest Buckner safety.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Okay.
And I wonder how much of the lightning delay, like shutting it down.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All that. Like, defensive adjustments obviously happen, but, like, Vinny, you can talk about that. Like, a lightning delay and shutting it down for an hour. I mean, I was on the couch over there, like, half asleep, yawning my ass off.
So you had that, as Les brought up, the first game after the Super Bowl in 2018 after you guys won. Oh, but you weren't here anymore.
You were with the Jets.
And then you came back the next
You went
year,
for the
so you did
bag.
miss it. The great mistake, of course. And now I'm rubbing salt in the wound. Oh, no. Have you ever had a lightning delay?
Yeah, it rained
Tampa, you must have had it.
all the time.
Okay.
All the time. And we would have to go in and wait. Shit, one game we got home like two something. It was crazy.
So what?
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
What are you doing in the
Against
locker
Pittsburgh, I
room?
think.
Yeah, what do you do?
You trying to stay loose?
Yeah, stretch, try to stay loose. Try to go get on the iPad and watch what plays you did get in. You know, see what adjustments you can make. But I want to talk about the receiver game real quick. But it making sense. Maybe he is a little ginger because they use Dotson a lot today.
Oh, and what a
You know
throw
what I'm
from
saying?
Jalen.
We
on
saw
third
that
and
same
long,
route
Dotson
running
in the
with
first
Smitty
half.
Right.
sometimes. So I feel like they just mismatch the
Good point.
players, and then that's usually Smitty's route.
In fact, Jahan Dotson was the Eagles' leading receiver yardage.
I'm trying to tell you, So you might be on something. Okay.
I like that. That's interesting. Okay, you know what it is time for? It's time for the Ford play of the game. We're going to tell you what we think was the play of the game in this game. And to me, you could make a case for, Zach Bond chasing down Miles Sanders. You could make a case for the Jalen touchdowns or that throw to Jahan Dotson. I think I got to go with the last play before the Lightning.
I agree with you.
Right?
That would be my
because how could it's got to be the forced fumble on Miles Sanders by, I'm going to say Byron Young. You could say Jahan Campbell. And then Quinyon Mitchell picks it up and almost goes for a touchdown. And we got the tush push celebration.
Yeah, I definitely think that was
the forward play of the game.
It has to be.
Yeah, Jahad Campbell, I mean, he got his left hand in there, Bo. I know you want to swing that in Byron Young's favor. He gets the assist on the tackle, but Jahad stripped that out there.
We'll see. We'll see what the final book says. I think it might be Young's force, but I don't know. They made a good.
Give it to the defensive tackle, Vinny. Come on, give it to the defensive lineman.
And for more information on Ford, visit your local Ford store. Check out the F-150, the Ford Explorer, some of the best cars on the road.
Love that. All right. It is time to take our first commercial break. And on the other side, we're going to hear from our dear friend, Fran Duffy, to find out what he thought about the X's and the O's and the Jimmies and the Joes of this game. We are here in the Xfinity Lounge, and we can tell you that Xfinity is the place for watching games from the comfort of your own home. Because if you call yourself a football fan, you have got to have Xfinity. It is the ultimate sports destination, and you can find the best games and your favorite teams all in one place. And the way that you watch with Xfinity is next level. It's the perfect fan flex. You get all the action right in your living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like you're in the stadium. Sometimes you can even have 4 games going at once on a Sunday, because why not? And on top of that, you get the real-time notifications and live stats right on your TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that the big fan is not a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multiview requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
Well, we just told you about the Ford play of the game. Ford also has the F-150. The Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America for 48 straight years. The F-150 blends hard work, ready toughness with modern-day tech and luxury. Offers 6 different powertrain options, including a hybrid and a fully electric Lightning model. The 3.5-liter Power Boost Hybrid V6 delivers 430 horsepower and an amazing towing capacity. Pro Power Onboard turns your truck into a mobile generator. Perfect for job sites and, more importantly, the tailgates down at the Birds game. The advanced Sync 4 system with cloud-based voice recognition and over-the-air updates and interior work. Surface folds out to become your desk in your truck. It's smart and convenient with the modern technology you want. Max recline seats, 360-degree cameras, all the bells and whistles you want. The Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway driving is available on certain trims. Cab options have regular, super cab, and super crew, plus bed lengths to fit all your needs. For more information, visit your local Ford store.
All right. We head now to Fran's Film Room, presented by the good folks at Ashley Home Furniture. We don't have him just yet.
You know,
The Duff man has to put on clothes. He was nude all game.
You want to know?
Jason Garrett told him to put his pants on.
pants on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to hear like it's crazy because do you guys remember when Jerry Jones traded Michael Parsons? He goes, "We got to stop the run."
Well,
It was like a buck something in the
First
it was
half.
crazy.
yeah, but most of it was Jalen Hurts. I mean, they did a pretty good job against Saquon Barkley. 18 for 60, 3.3 yards a carry. That's pretty good.
So I'm looking here. Jalen Carter is talking.
We are going to have video from the locker room.
Rich
of
Hoffman down
Jalen
in the
Carter
locker room.
from
Excellent.
Handsome Rich in a little bit. So that will be interesting to watch.
I'm glad that he's talking.
I agree.
Yeah.
The worst case is, Jalen's not available tonight. Blah blah blah.
He already left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is good. I think that will help in the brouhaha that will unfold over the next few days.
So stay tuned. We will have footage from the locker room with Jalen Carter in a little bit. We're still waiting on Fran. Okay, still waiting on Fran. No big deal. We're going to hear from Fran about, I think, the CeeDee Lamb, the first CeeDee Lamb big play. We're going to talk about Jalen's ability to scramble, which I thought Jalen scrambling in this game. We want to talk about like things that really matter. Seeing him look so spry, which there were times where he didn't last year. Like he looked dynamic in this game, and there were times when there was clearly nobody downfield, and he was able to really make some plays with his legs, kind of like an old Noah Curry, I would say.
Nah, man, Jalen, I'm telling you, he looked, and he didn't look like any type of the poise was like there.
Yes,
he looked so locked in.
No turnovers. No anything close to a turnover.
I thought that the first offensive drive was so important on that front, because as we talked about, everything that could have possibly gone wrong went wrong on the opening drive for the defense. Right, you lose Jalen Carter for the game. Adoree Jackson's getting cooked, and they can't stop anybody. And you could really things could have started to go a little bit sideways. And I don't know that there is anybody in the league who is as perfectly wired for that moment to not care and to just keep things steady more than Jalen Hurts.
What did you think he told himself? Keep the main thing the main thing. You know?
He's told himself, MJ's in the house tonight. I better not mess this up.
Oh, MJ was there?
Oh,
yeah.
As a guest.
As a guest of his.
I didn't know that.
I thought you were winning in the box with him. Come on.
Oh, nah, shoot. If I was in there, I would have been like, pass the cigar.
Yeah, as a guest of Jalen Hurts because he's the
nice.
Jordan brand. They were all in Greece together this summer.
Oh, you know what? I think I did hear that, but I was so locked in on the game, and I was like, damn,
sure,
nah, for real.
But Vinny, to Bo's point, I'm sure there's times where you're on the field where you get gashed for a drive like that. You're exhausted. The last thing you want is your quarterback to go and give you a 3 and out. Like, I'm sure the defense could kind of take like a deep breath there after that Eagles offensive drive, and it's like, all right, our guys got us. We can take a breath. We can settle in here.
But I feel like he earned that trust from the guys, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jalen Hurts is the real deal. Like, he earned that trust from the guys, and he knew how to calm everything back down.
Guy's got to meditate or something.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
He's different.
We'll find out if AJ Brown is going to have to meditate after this game.
Well, what's
I think if we would have saw it out there, I feel like, AJ shares the same birthday as me, by the way.
Okay.
So
good energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we type of guys that wear our emotions on our sleeves. So we're not really hard to read. So
have you read Inner Excellence?
No, we sat down with him.
Yeah, we did.
We did sit down with him. Yeah. But I do have that book. My mother-in-law got that book for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out.
All right, we do have Fran now, so let's go to the Fran's film room presented by PHLY Furniture. There he is.
And Bo, Ashley's Labor Day sales going on now. You can shop and pay later with 0% interest until 2030, only at Ashley. Hello, Fran.
What's going on, guys? How's everything going out there?
What's up, Fran?
Do you miss us?
Of course, I miss you. I miss being in the studio with Vinny. I'm sorry I get to miss less. But a lot to talk about. An eventful game.
How much of the game did you let Francis watch?
He made it through midway through the second quarter, and then he was passed out face first on the couch. So he made a decent amount.
I mean, he contributed as much as Jalen Carter did tonight.
Yeah, he played just as many snaps. It was. I mean, it was one of those things where he's at that point, like, he's bouncing around, he's running around, he's crazy, he's cheering for the Eagles, and I'm like sitting here, and I was like, you hear the referee announcement that 98 has been ejected from the game, and I was like, everybody quiet. Like, what did he just say? Just complete shock. And obviously, look, deserved, based off the action. I agree with your point, Les. Like, I can't imagine that it goes further than this, but just something that you can't have happen, certainly in a game like that.
I mean, honestly, a good teaching moment for Francis. This is you can't spit on people. You're going to get in big trouble.
Yeah, it was. I think I let Meg explain that part of it because I was too busy trying to internalize what this meant for the rest of the matchup. But it was. Certainly impactful just because of what it meant for Jordan Davis and Moro Ojomo and the rest of that defensive line.
Hey, all right, okay. Fran, we was talking about Jordan Davis looked like he was in shape tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the house would have been loud had he gotten Dak Prescott down for that sack. You got to respect the hustle, certainly, and you respect the fact that he was able to make those plays late in the game. I'm sure that he was one of the few on that team who benefited most from the long break, from the weather delay, just to kind of get a little bit of that juice back down the stretch. But honestly, it was a kind of a tale. You want to say tale of two halves. The game was so different, up until that delay, and just felt like all the air got let out of the balloon on both sides, honestly, because it was just sloppy on both sides when both teams came back to the field at 11:30.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you saw in watching this game closely, and let's start early when the Eagles defense was kind of grasping for air, and CeeDee Lamb gets loose for a big play down the field.
Yeah, this is a team in the Dallas Cowboys where, Brian Schottenheimer, he's known for his commitment to the run game and the run game creativity. And we saw a decent amount of that in this game. You saw heavy personnel sets where they would go 2 tight ends. They'd use the fullback on the field, the guy they just gave like $3 million a year to, Hunter Lepke, this week. So they made good use of him and, the rest of those base personnel packages. We'll go to the first shot here, Julia. They come out on the opening drive, and it's going to be a heavy personnel set on 3rd and 1, and everybody's lined up condensed inside the formation. You can see this looks like run. You have nickel on the field for the Eagles defense, 212 personnel, but everything about this looks like it's going to be a duo run play, a downhill, quick hitting run between the tackles for Javonte Williams. So now, if you go to the next shot here, Julia, we're going to take a look at it from the back angle where CeeDee Lamb, his initial stem is working towards the safety. So he's really selling hard that this is probably going to be some kind of a run play. And Adoree Jackson, he's got to be cognizant of the fact that this could be a run that spills out towards his part of the field. And so he's got his eyes in the backfield. CeeDee Lamb is working towards the post. And then if we go to the next shot, CeeDee does a great job of just accelerating through this break and breaking back towards the sideline. Adoree Jackson a little bit late to react here, and the play action just gets the better of him. Honestly, when it first happened, guys, it was one of those where it's like, oh man, like, all right, CeeDee Lamb against Adoree Jackson. This is a matchup they're going to take advantage of. I honestly think that this was really good schematics, a really good play design, good play call from Brian Schottenheimer in this Cowboys offense. Whether that was Quinyon Mitchell or Adoree Jackson, I think that ball was getting completed just because of the nature of the play.
And yet, it was clear that Adoree Jackson was being targeted in this game. And obviously, the Eagles made some adjustments. What did you make of sort of the chess match of how Vic Fangio was deploying his guys?
Yeah, it was something that obviously, look, we spent a lot of time talking about it on Wednesday, the two of us, and then with Daniz and with EJ, and just talking about what all the different iterations of these coverages could look like. CeeDee outside, CeeDee in the slot, different personnel groupings. What if the Eagles are in nickel? What if they're in dime? And I think that my guess is that we're going to see variety there from the Eagles. Now, you can't really confirm it and I was usually Sunday Night Football broadcast. Like there's a lot of really good replays, and there weren't a ton of replays when it came to like the coverages that the Eagles were using.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't that they didn't give us a ton there, which was unfortunate.
Nobody was more upset about Jalen Carter being tossed on this first play of the game than Chris Collinsworth. He was like, "That's all I was going to talk about tonight."
Well, we saw every. I mean, here's a guy. I think at the end of the day, we saw every single possible angle from that. But I would have loved to see, maybe a second angle of this catch here or that run there. But at the end of the day, it's something that I'm interested to see from the film tomorrow. And look. I don't think that they're gonna pull the reins on Adoree Jackson yet, but obviously it wasn't a great start for him as the starting corner.
And it also, I mean, frankly, it wasn't just the pass coverage, right? I mean, Vinny, we don't want to call a guy out, but like the long Miles Sanders run,
bro, that was crazy.
I felt like he kind of turned it down.
Yeah, Fran, what you thought about that when he was supposed to fill that hole right there and.
Yeah, he got hit hard on that front side, and then the backside tackle got up to Reed Blankenship and gave it to Reed, got Reed on the ground as well. So it was one of those where you want one of those guys to be in position to be able to make that play. You're putting that more on Adoree in terms of like the back end of the defense, but a well executed run, great play. I mean, Zach Bond, touchdown saving effort there on that play, and it ended up becoming a huge play because the Eagles get a turnover later in the drive.
All right, let's get to the next play you want to break down, Fran, and this is on the good side for the Eagles. And that, Jalen Hurts was just dynamic in this game. He was so good as a scrambler. I think his success rate as a scrambler was especially high in this game, especially in the first half. What did you see on the first of his 2 touchdown runs?
Yeah, I think to me it was. There were good examples of like good decision making as a scrambler. This was not, I'm running around and he's indecisive and then he ends up, creating some magic and taking off. I thought most of these scrambles tonight were like good process and then good results from Jalen Hurts. And this first touchdown was a really good example. Julia, if you want to go to the first shot here, it's in the red zone and Jalen's first starts looking to his right. And now this is a route concept, 2-man route concept where basically AJ Brown is running a clear out fade at the top in the red zone, and DeVonta Smith is running a quick out route to the pylon. And that's exactly where Jalen Hurts wants to go with this football. He wants to be able to throw this to DeVonta. Smartly does not throw this, because if you go to the next shot, Julia, you'll see that this corner steps right in front of this. If Jalen had thrown it this is a pick going the other way. So a nice job, good decision here by Jalen. So now he's going to work back to the next part of the progression. And Julia, if you go to the next one here, basically you're getting a three-man route concept to the backside, to the boundary, where you're going to get a shallow cross from Jahan Dotson, followed up by a Texas route from Saquon Barkley in the backfield. And the linebacker is sitting on this Texas route. I think that's where Jalen ultimately wanted to go with this football. I think you're hoping that Dotson is going to clear that linebacker in the middle of the field, and you're going to hit Saquon Barkley right between the hash marks for a touchdown. But that linebacker did a nice job of sitting on it. And so now Jalen, rather than getting all the way back to the other side, I think he feels the fact that he's got some green grass over on the right. Julia, we can go to the next shot here. And one of the things, guys, that I feel is underrated, wasn't really talked about all that often. You know, they kept talking about, oh, it's man coverage and Jalen's going to run. To me, it wasn't a lot of man coverage. I think a lot of it was that you had, number one, it was a number of vertical route concepts. There was that 1 3rd and long where Jalen took off in the middle. It was the second quarter, and it was 3 or 4 vertical routes that were released down the field. And that just creates a lot of space underneath for Jalen. But then the other underrated aspect of this as well, the offensive line, from an aspect of this, the Eagles are always getting 5 guys out into the route. And he ends up running this for a touchdown. It ties the game here in the first quarter. But the Eagles are always getting 5 out into the route. And when you get all 5 eligibles out, and Vinny, you can speak to this, as a defense, you have to respect the linebackers. Everybody's got to respect that, and you're not going to have as much crowding at the line of scrimmage. That's more eyes on Jalen Hurts, more bodies in the vicinity of the quarterback. That's going to take away some of those scrambles. So I think at the end of the day, Jalen, really good decision making. I thought that he had a really strong game. I'm excited to go back and watch the film and see, like, is there things that he missed, especially with the AJ Brown of it all. But I think at the end of the day, a really good night here from Jalen Hurts.
Now, do you think that, maybe not that one because it was in the red zone, but when you're talking about like the vertical routes, do you think that is by design by Kevin Patullo to know, okay, we can take a deep shot and get the first down, and if not, sending everybody deep is going to maybe open things up for Jalen?
Yeah, I think that might be something that could be talked about, certainly. You know, every coach is going to handle that differently, and every quarterback is going to handle that differently. So I definitely would not rule that out, that's something that they talked about. And you're going to also is going to come down to, hey, we know this is how this defense wants to play it. We know that Kevin Patullo and Matt Eberflus worked together with the Colts. Nick Sirianni worked together with the Colts. So they might have an understanding of, hey, you know what? If we run these kinds of route concepts, this is how this defense, this secondary is going to handle those routes.
All right, last play to break down here, Fran, is the play that coincidentally was our forward play of the game. And that is the forced fumble by, now you have here Byron Young.
Jihad,
Vinny, break the tie.
I'm going with Jihad.
Jihad! You think you know a guy. Like, you think you can count on a defensive lineman backing up a defensive lineman.
Listen, man, local kid.
You're going
Jersey.
You're going Jersey.
That's what I'm saying. Local kid.
Jersey over defensive line.
Against Dallas.
Get that
Night
on
game.
there.
Woo! That's a big play.
That kid can play,
He going to
Fran.
sleep like this tonight. You know what I mean? So
go ahead, Bless.
He showed up a number of times. I'm excited to see number 30 on film.
Yo, he play hard. Yo, Fran, he a baller, bro. He play hard.
Right, you saw him playing downhill. We saw getting after the quarterback. We saw him in coverage multiple times.
Breaking up a
I'm
long
really
pass.
excited to put together the melt there of Jihad Campbell.
All right, let's see what you saw on that play.
Yeah, a big play, obviously. We'll go to the first shot here. And ultimately what you're going to see from the Cowboys, they're in another heavy personnel set. The Eagles respond in kind. So they're going to be in their base defense. So you've got only 4 defensive backs on the field. They've got 6 guys down in the line of scrimmage. And that man that we've got circled there, that's Jihad Campbell. He's down there on the line of scrimmage. Now, the Dallas Cowboys are running a version of inside zone. It's called split zone, where you're going to take the tight end from the opposite side. That tight end that's on the hash mark on the far side, he's going to come back to the bottom of the screen. He's going to try and block Jihad Campbell. But the guy who really first impacts the running back, first impacts Miles Sanders in this play, and Julia, we can go to the next shot, is going to be Jordan Davis. He stacks the right guard, Tyler Booker. You see the full extension there. He's got full control of this block, and now that's going to force Miles Sanders to initially cut this back, because the run is supposed to start to the right. He now has to cut this back. So Julia, if you go to the next shot, we get the next instance of disruption here. here comes from Patrick Johnson, the other outside linebacker that's lined up just inside of Jahad Campbell. He crosses the tight end's face. He gets there and he gets hands on Miles Sanders as well, kind of slows his momentum up. You already see right here that I also have Jahad Campbell circled. Campbell has already he defeats the block from the tight end really, really easily. So now he's available to make this play. Julia, go to the next shot. And now you can see that you've got Byron Young already, he's getting ready to punch this ball out. Jahad Campbell's got his arms wrapped up around the running back as well. And so now you've got the ball on the ground. So I think when you're looking at this play, this is a really good example of full team run defense from those guys up front. It started with Jordan Davis, that initial, standing the guard up at the line of scrimmage. Tyler Booker is a really powerful player. This is a guy that can, that really majors in displacing players at the point of attack. And he did a great job, Jordan Davis, of holding Booker up at the point, forcing that cutback from Miles Sanders. You get Patrick Johnson knifing in, and then you've got Campbell and Young to clean it up. So a really good example of overall team run defense and getting a turnover. That was the final score right there. We saw that on the bug at the bottom. So a huge play there from this Eagles defense.
All right, Fran, we know you got a lot of work to do after you get a little bit of sleep. So we're going to talk to you on the show tomorrow at 2 o'clock on the PHLY Eagles postgame show, breaking down what you have seen once you've seen the All-22. But before you do that, what are you most looking forward to seeing when you turn that on in the morning?
Yeah, I think, honestly, like what I'm most excited about is Jahad Campbell. Just because it's something new. It's the first round pick. He played a lot of football. Honestly, he popped watching TV. So I'm excited to see him running in coverage. I'm so excited to see him against the run, him flying sideline to sideline. So I would say Jahad Campbell is the guy I'm most excited to see tomorrow morning.
Fran, before you get out of here, I just want to let you know you have a custom emoji now in our supporters club. Are you aware of this?
Oh, I saw.
Okay.
I saw. It was there on the pregame show. It was one of the first ones that got busted out of the glass. So,
all right, because
very excited about the custom emoji.
You can do guys now in emoji form. This is very exciting stuff.
The more ways that I can get that done, the better.
All right. Thank you very much, Fran, for joining us on the Fran's Film Room segment presented by Ashley Home Furniture.
See you guys.
All right, Fran.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, let's head to our second break here, and then we'll come back. We are going to hear at some point soon from EJ Smith from The Link. We're going to talk about some more takeaways. I have snap count data for you.
All right.
And I think we're going to try to hear from Jalen Carter in the locker room. The audio is not great, but we're going to play it for you anyway, so we can find out what he says about Spitgate coming up next.
Ashley Furniture's Labor Day sale is going on now, and you can shop now and pay later with 0% interest until 2030. Only at Ashley. This Labor Day at Ashley, the deals work harder than ever. And for a limited time, take home the furniture you love now and pay for it over time with no interest financing until 2030. That's right. Style, comfort, and savings without the wait. But hurry, this offer won't last. Celebrate Labor Day the Ashley way. Shop today and enjoy no interest until 2030.
I tell you what, like we had a little pizza out there before, but after a game like that, you want some meat. And if you want some meat, you got to go Omaha Steaks. That's the place to do it. Because with Omaha Steaks, you get USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites like chicken wings, smash burgers, and big deli-style franks. And now, during their Red Hot sale event, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code EAGLES at checkout. I mean, what a deal. 50% off and an extra $35 off by using promo code EAGLES at checkout. Omaha Steaks is the place to get premium restaurant quality meat in your home. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot sale event. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code EAGLES at checkout. One more time, 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code EAGLES at checkout. See site for details.
Well, the deals at Ashley Furniture are so nutty, I got to tell you about them again. And right now, the Labor Day sale is going on, and you can shop now and pay later with zero interest until 2030 only at Ashley. I know my wife and I, when we do those big purchases, if there's a 0% pay later option, No-brainer. Done deal. And this Labor Day at Ashley, the deals are working harder than ever. For that limited time, you can take home the furniture you love and pay with no interest financing until 2030. The Eagles will probably have another Super Bowl by then. That's right. Style, comfort, and savings without the wait. But hurry. This offer is not going to last. Celebrate the Labor Day the Ashley way. Shop today and enjoy no interest until 2030. 2030.
All right, would you guys like to hear some defensive snap counts?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm real curious about Jordan Davis.
So it looks like the defense played about 56 total snaps,
Which isn't bad.
on defense.
No,
Not-
it's
not
less
bad
than
at
I
all.
would have guessed.
Especially since they I would bet that they played a ton in the
I was going
first
to
half.
say 37, 38
Sure.
of those in the first half.
Zach Bond, Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell
100%.
played every snap. Yeah. Next up, you had Jihad Campbell on the field for 51 of the 56 snaps. I
Wow.
think there were just a few. It's not like there was another linebacker. So it's when we had the sort of the 5 or 6 up front and just one linebacker there in Zach Bond. Jordan Davis played 50
Wow.
of 56 snaps. That has got to be the highest percentage of
Career
snaps
high.
No way, big guy.
he has ever played in his career.
Yeah.
And that is, that's significant.
That is
was
huge.
That was a big question mark coming in. We'll see how he recovers, but
Yeah.
that was impressive. Moro Ojimo, also 50 snaps. So he and Jordan Davis were on the field the exact same amount. But that doesn't mean that, the defensive tackles didn't also play, because Byron Young played 21 snaps. So that tells you there were a lot of those 3 defensive tackle situations there. Nolan Smith plays 48 of the 56 snaps. Andrew Makuba, 46. Adoree
Whoa.
Jackson, 38. Jalen
Wow.
Hunt, 36. Josh Uche, 17. Sidney Brown, 13. Patrick Johnson, 11. Jacorian Bennett, 6. And Gabe Hall, 5.
Vinny, can you talk about how hard that is for a linebacker rookie to come in and play 50 of 56 snaps and look the way he did?
Dude,
Like the processing, knowing everything, like that's got to be an impossible task.
unless you know this, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that means he's intelligent. He is who
Right.
we thought he was.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yes.
When they got him at
I thought
31,
that
I
was-
thought, well, he has this injury. Who knows when we'll actually see him? If he misses training camp, it'll be a thing like, at best, a thing like DeJean last year, where, maybe a month into the season, he's
Right.
actually playing. But here we are.
Damn.
They don't win that game tonight unless he plays the way he did,
No, and listen, if you think about it, and you saw it in a game tonight, especially because Dak Prescott loves throwing the ball over the middle of the field and down the seam. But listen, if you are weak on the outside at one spot, and listen, the Eagles are going to have to figure out who their
Yeah,
cornerback
that's a
2 is
problem.
long term.
Yep.
And that probably will be an issue as the season goes on. But if you're weak on the outside, you better be able to hold up on the middle. And right now they seem like they have,
Right.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but like they could have the best linebacker tandem in
Right.
football.
But it's just crazy because I think they had plans to using him at both spots. Rushing and passing in there, but he played so well tonight.
Right, exactly. They don't need
Yeah.
to. They don't need to press that button with him.
He brought the juice. That's what you call having juice. That's that young
Yeah.
juice. Young
And I'm curious to see the other one that I will be curious to hear Fran talk about tomorrow is how does Makuba look, because just
That's more snaps than I would have guessed.
and
I
you can't really tell
I
based on the
couldn't tell.
TV.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he seemed active. He didn't
He was
seem
around
to
the
be
ball
making any
with
mistakes.
Jihad. There was that one play out on the flat where
Yes.
both of them converged on it. Makuba coming from across and Jihad coming from the line. Like, they made an impact. Even Chris Collinsworth was like, there's their first and second round picks, the young guys for the
Yes.
Eagles.
That's good to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
What do you think will happen at outside cornerback?
I don't think Adoree Jackson is holding that
No.
spot for long. I would think Jacorian Bennett is probably going to take it in the next. I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes next week.
Yeah.
I
I
mean-
hope Bennett is good enough, if he does take it, that I really don't want to see them move Cooper DeJean out there.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to do that.
And no, I think Fangio made it pretty clear he didn't want to do that.
And there was a series where they did. Adoree was getting cooked so bad they did move Cooper to the
Right.
outside.
And I think
I
that
think it was
might have
about
been
3
that might have
plays.
been that 3 defensive tackle kind of base package
Right,
where
right.
there are only 2 corners on the field. But I mean, listen, you saw Cooper on the last CeeDee Lamb drop. He's running with CeeDee Lamb, but he's a bit of a step behind him. It's not
Yeah.
it's not his favorite place to be.
The cool thing about this is you know how he's going to hit Vic, but like, yo, look, man, what you thinking? You know they like to
Yeah.
Well, they have talked about that, and especially when there is so little preseason.
Right.
The first month of the season is kind of fact finding. It's figuring out what team you have, where you are weak,
Right.
and then figuring out how can you fix those things. And so we saw it a little bit last year. I would imagine that Howie is already thinking about that this year.
Well, with the amount of draft capital they have,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, right. But listen, Adoree, he a veteran.
Yeah.
You know, so some of those mistakes was like, you know,
Yeah.
they're gonna get magnified
Yeah.
because you know you've been in this position, you've
Yeah.
been in this before, so it's kind of like, damn, man, you know what I mean? And I just know how the Eagles organization does. They expect you at your best at all times, no matter what. So
Right.
I'm interested to see how the next couple weeks play out.
All right, we've got boots on the ground at the link, and so
All
let's
right.
find out what we can hear from Jalen Carter in the Eagles locker room. Well, we're gonna test this audio and see
This
what
is
we can
courtesy
hear.
of Handsome Rich. This is EJ.
Explain what happened from your vantage point.
You know, it was a mistake that happened on my side, and it just won't happen again. So I feel bad for just my teammates and the fans out there. You know, I'm doing it for them. You know, I'm doing it for my family also. But the fans, you know, they show the most love. You heard them out the other day. You know, just not being able to finish the start the game, even finish the game, just fucked me up. But I'll get it better. It won't happen again.
Yeah, can we
Just give them a little bit of room.
There's some footage later that showed that Dak may have done something first. Do you feel like he precipitated it?
No, I don't try to do nothing out of the ordinary. You know, anything that I feel like I have done something that is provoked. But you know, if there's something out there, y'all see it, we'll go off that.
How amped were you to play this game?
So,
How amped were you to play this game?
super, you know, just to get back. You know, we don't play preseason, so we don't get no warm-ups to hit other opponents. And you know, I was so ready, but things went how I went. We just go focus on next week and get better at what we were watching film.
Jalen, when it happened, did you?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, Vinny, you can speak to this, but like, do you think his teammates will be mad at him for this?
That's why when I called it, I said he probably was sticking up for that defensive line group. Kiki Ken, that'll piss me off too. He's spitting and Kiki Ken. Why you staring at us spitting and Kiki Ken?
Yeah.
You know, like, ain't nothing funny.
And I also think, like, the fact that
I just hate
this
it
is the Georgia defense, right? Like, Nolan Smith has played with him before.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan Davis, like, these guys know him.
Yeah, they do.
That
Yeah.
probably
Good point.
that probably is a little bit of a help supporting that, right?
right. But you know, that's
But
what
he's got to feel bad. Like,
I mean, if he feels bad, it will feel worse if we have lost this game.
Oh
but
my
we
God.
won this game.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
so we won this game. It was just kind of like disrespect would not be tolerated at the link.
That
So-
would had they lost this game, this would have been something he never heard the end of. It would
Yeah.
be like Ricky Waters for who for what, you know.
Right.
It would have been disastrous for Jalen Carter in Philadelphia.
he's the Roberto Alomar of Philly sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that damn Ike Reese baiting Trot in
Ah.
a pregame fight.
Yeah.
The Falcons Eagles getting him out off the field.
There you go. All right, we also have AJ Brown from the locker room.
Love you, Ike.
Courtesy of EJ Smith. Let's find out what AJ. No, this one is Rich. So we've got AJ Brown.
Handsome
Let's
Rich
find
is
out
a
what he
machine
says
in there.
about having one target. Oh, looking good.
That boy shot.
Did they do? I'm sorry, if you answer sorry, but did they do a good job of covering you in your mind? I mean, could you tell that they were focused on making sure you didn't beat them?
At times, you know, I definitely say they try to take me away. They shaded my side. They sent it back into my side.
I hope that's not going to be a YouTube copyright. Hope we're not playing too much of the song.
Would a younger you have a harder time handling a night like that than an older guy who's now got a ring, got a championship, got a lot of things? Okay, so would a younger guy have had a harder?
I think we can cut that one.
Yeah.
Audio was not so great on that one.
Do you have
But I'll tell
any
what,
idea what he was saying there?
he was asked, did he think they did a really good job on him? He said, sometimes.
yeah.
I think this was to Vinny's point. Like he's wearing it a little bit. Like he's not super happy.
He did not look pumped.
Mm.
Yep.
Vinny Curry, body language reader. What do you got?
I would say AJ Brown is the player of the game next week.
That's a good prediction.
First drive, force fed, 3 targets. Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, there were some plays, maybe like a couple routes where he really was open though.
Yeah, there was.
And it was like, it wasn't Jalen's first read
Right.
at the time, and when he was open though. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
maybe he could have, but that wasn't his read. So, you can't be mad at QB1 either for not seeing that. But for somebody to ask that you think they did a good job, like, come on, man, you know my nickname, always open. Like, why would you ask me that? Like, you're trying to poke another. That's another guy that's trying to poke another bear.
Yeah.
I would have asked, were you 100%?
Yeah,
You know, did you feel like you could really cut loose? Things like that. But I wasn't there, so.
Okay. All right, let's transition then to our Righteous Felon beef of the week. Now, at Righteous Felon, the delicious jerky and meat snacks that they have at Righteous Felon, the beef of the week goes to like the employee of the week, the person they're celebrating. But for you, Vinny, I want this to go to a lineman, a beefy guy, offensive line or defensive line. Who was the lineman player of the game for you?
Oh, Jordan Davis.
Play a lot of snaps. You want to talk about some beef?
Yeah, we talked about it last year. We were talking about the conditioning. We were talking about we want to see some leaps. I think today he had, he was forced to step up right in front of our eyes and play those snaps, and I thought he did well. Credited with 2 pressures, which, you know how I feel about pressures, but 1 tackle for loss, 6 combined tackles, and, he was on the field a ton. That's what I mean. Like, that's man, shout out to you, man. He that goes to show you that how hard that he worked this offseason. He looks great, by the way. Like in person, he looks great.
Yeah.
I think he's down 27 pounds.
I'm saying, and it looked toned. They don't look like how some big guys lose weight. It's like, oh, my man looking kind of saggy. Nah, he looked a little toned up, looked a little lean, and I'm proud of him.
All right.
I got an OG hickory beef stick floating around somewhere in the studio.
I think it's to Les's left.
Les, help yourself to the beef stick.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have seen that sooner. Pretty hungry here in the middle of the night.
I'm a teriyaki Balboa man myself.
I'm a soul survivor.
Ooh, nice one.
Yeah, the Korean sesame. Very good.
My wife has become hooked because the great people at Righteous Felons sent us a nice little shipment here. Took a couple home, and she said it's like her perfect school snack.
Came in very handy.
And Anthony Gargano also. He's become a jerky man. He can't get enough of the stuff.
That's as high a compliment as you can get paid. Congratulations to Jordan Davis for winning the Beef of the Week. Thanks to Righteous Felon. Let's check out some of the Super Chats that we have here on the PHLY Eagles post-game show. Jamie, we are going to be okay, says Juan Pablo Martin Riva.
I agree.
Yeah. This is a great outcome.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Carter.
As far as we know, nobody got really hurt except for Van Sumeren.
That didn't look good.
No, Landon Dickerson did, it's kind of like you remember this with Jason Peters, right? Where
right.
He would
I expect
he'd miss
Landon
a couple
Dickerson
plays every game and then come
yeah.
back and he's just a warrior. He's going to keep playing through it, right? But Landon does seem to have this happen a lot.
I think EJ's piece this week called him the Wolverine of the locker room.
Right.
He just kind of self-heals and gets back out there. Yeah.
They said back, though, but I'm pretty sure that delay probably give him some back stiffness a little bit.
They said he didn't.
He said he didn't do the full warm-up.
Yeah, he was out like stretching and trying to get his back right.
The one troubling thing I saw, I did see a thing about possibly him getting an X-ray, which might not be good.
That's not great.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, not happy about that. Okay. Roger says, how can you not try to get AJ into the game? A short pass, easy slants.
Yeah.
Seems inexcusable.
I don't disagree.
Yeah,
there were definitely a couple times where it looked like Jalen drops back and his first read is to AJ, and he's like, he wants to throw it, and he just has to come off it because it's not quite there. It seemed like that happened, especially in the second half.
How did you think you thought AJ looked on the 1 reception, 1 target?
Yeah, I didn't think he looked great.
Yeah, you think he's still...
Now, he was also trying to stay in bounds. He didn't want to stop the clock there. But here's one thing that I would like to talk about, Les, is... when the Eagles got the ball, they had a couple chances in the fourth quarter to kind of extend the lead. And they got pretty conservative.
Incredibly conservative.
And they were not running the ball
Just
particularly
running
well
it
at that
straight
point.
into the line.
And I would have trusted Jalen was playing so well tonight. I would have trusted him more.
Right. You need to do something there. Roll out, throw a screen, do something other than just hand the ball off into the line over and over and over again. It stopped working, and you had Dickerson who was in trouble and then out of the game, and it just wasn't the time to just have Saquon dive into the line.
Right. The couple times that they had AJ going motion, though, I thought it was going to be a screen. Usually off that, it's a screen or some type of reverse. I definitely thought they would try to, get him more involved. But when they didn't get him involved, that's what I was thinking, like, okay, is he 100%? Because I ain't going to say I don't think, but I will hope they wouldn't try to not get our all-pro receiver involved in this game.
Sure.
On purpose,
I mean, believe me, I'm sure they were talking on the headset. Like, we got to get AJ the ball. Got to get AJ the ball.
Right.
They just couldn't make it happen. And
but, Nick didn't know it was banner night, so who knows?
If the Cowboys were doing anything. What's that?
See, Nick said he didn't know it was banner night, so who knows?
So. Maybe he didn't know that AJ was on the team. That's
AJ didn't catch on.
Listen, I think the thing that I would most love to find out tonight is what it was actually like in the locker room during that lightning delay.
Yeah.
Like, what were they doing for 45 minutes in there?
Yeah.
I would say stretching. I'm like stretching, going over some things. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I know for a fact, I'm 90% sure that the AJ thing is not going to get out of control, blown out of proportion, because he would have went off for that 45 minutes.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a fair point. What did you think of the penalty on Nolan Smith for taunting?
Come on, bro. Damn, we can't do nothing. It's like, I don't want to call it a no fun league, but let's do better.
These are grown men.
Let's do
you're
better.
Right.
I just think because of the Spitgate.
Yeah.
I just think they was just trying to calm the game down. But come on, bro.
And they always have their one thing they want to super
probably
enforce.
got to be smarter than that.
Well, that's the thing. What Jamie's saying.
It's like they don't want that happening this year.
I'm not even really working anymore. I'm retired. But I've read 20 stories about how they were going to really crack down on taunting and emphasize sportsmanship. And they told the players this. Yep. And they told them they couldn't do that. And that really messed up a big play in the game. Just don't do that. You can't do that. I know it's football and people have been doing that for years, but it's pretty clear that that's against the rules now.
Right. Usually when the first 2 weeks of NFL season, if you guys ever see anything like, oh, we're going to crack down on this penalty at all, that means they're going to go extra hard on it. But, defense is playing on emotion.
Sure.
Right.
And you're playing like Growl, that was a great tackle they had, and he was just freaking hype. You know what I mean? His manager got kicked out the game. We're playing Dallas. That was a good stop. And I don't think he was in his face. I just think when he got up, it was a little loud. Whatever he said, it was kind of loud, maybe.
It's a message to the league. They know everybody's watching. They know
they're probably not calling it in October.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that's going to die down after 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah. I mean, yet you could also hope that Nolan, having seen what happened with Jalen Carter, could maybe pull off just a little bit.
Yep. There was also a play where Tyler Guyton delivered a left hook.
Yeah.
To the head.
Yeah, I didn't see that live, but I saw it on social
No penalty
media.
there, but Nolan Smith's going to taunt.
That was crazy.
Yeah, come on. And there was another play where Nolan Smith got his neck janked back.
That happens an awful lot now, and you don't
but they
see the
didn't call the
penalty
holding.
there.
That was-
I don't know.
No penalties there, but you have some fun.
But the hook was crazy.
The hook was a straight up.
I think it was on Hunt as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Hunt.
Hunt hit him with a move, chopped his hand down, and just slapped it.
Yeah.
The hell out the face mask.
Now, there is one area in this game where the Eagles had a significant advantage. They were great on special teams in this game.
Yeah, it was.
Brandon Mann holding down.
Top 5 Eagle tonight.
And a
DeVonta
58-yard field goal from
James.
James.
And after all of the struggles from last year, and for those of us who were there in camp, like Jake Elliott looked good, and I think Michael Clay said or the broadcast said that Michael Clay said it feels like he's got his swagger back. I think he was dealing with something last year, and he seems healthy. And I mean, he pounded home.
That was good for another 7 yards.
Just a nails kick.
Yeah, that was a
in the
huge
game.
play in the game. It really was
huge. And then they made some nice tackles on special teams as well. So
yeah,
shout out to those guys.
Sometimes I'm critical of Michael Clay, but I have to say his unit did well.
There you go.
He lost Van Summeren early, and that's a guy that,
True.
He's got Patrick Johnson back. It's a happy place.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, especially
you were in the pregame. I heard you. I wasn't on the pregame, but I could hear you. And you were talking about he only had 3 edge rushers. What the hell is Patrick Johnson?
Well, like he was elevated. Yeah, he was elevated to.
Okay, yeah.
Active,
I thought I missed something. Isn't he an edge rusher?
Well, yeah, I mean, he did play a few snaps in this game.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Jamie, are you worried, as someone who does not want a dome, that the Eagles are going to point to that Jeffrey Lee is going to point to this lightning delay and say this would not have happened if we had a dome?
It's true though.
I mean, it does not help the case of keeping in an outdoor stadium.
I mean, this is once every 6 years.
I know, but he's going to go, well, Super Bowl and NCAA Final Four and, this and that. If they make it retractable, I could live with it, I suppose. But, it doesn't feel great. It feels like it's heading towards a roof, a dome.
It feels, Jeffrey wants that Super Bowl. And I think Final Four in Philly would be a pretty big deal.
Which is one of the biggest travesties in sports, Les. The Final Four should not be in football stadiums.
It's horrible. If you ever see a view from those seats, it's ludicrous. You wouldn't want to be there.
No.
In that situation, horrible. Even if you had binoculars.
And pay $350 to sit up top.
Right.
Get out of here. I hate it.
This is the world we live in.
I know. We can move on to our friend here because we are now pleased to be joined on the Xfinity mobile call-in line by our Eagles insider, looking sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up. Welcome to the show, EJ Smith.
Yes.
EJ, how you doing?
What's up, E?
I'm doing well. Yeah, no, what's going on, guys? I'm doing well. I feel like this game, I'm excited to listen back to the show, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did this game kind of feel like a vintage regular season game from last season from the Eagles? Like, this kind of felt like last year's team for most of the regular season.
Felt like Brazil.
I think I disagree with that a little bit.
Really, especially in the second half, like smothering defense, a passing game that kind of disappears for some stretches of the game.
Second half. The first half was not like it at all. The first half, the defense was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also emblematic of the regular season, the way that things started. So, and honestly, if I had to be I think that the locker room vibes kind of felt similar to parts of last season as well, where you almost forget that they won because you're waiting for Jalen Carter to talk about getting ejected, or you're waiting to talk to Adoree Jackson about his rough night in coverage. So yeah, definitely there's music playing, but I think that even Jalen Hurts kind of alluded to the fact that they knew that they could have played better and that there are things for them to clean up.
All right. Well, yeah. Tell us what you heard in the locker room. I guess starting with Jalen Carter and his role, and obviously one of the craziest beginnings to a game that we can remember.
Yeah, I mean, it really was one of the most bizarre beginnings to a game. Obviously, Ben Van Sumeren, even that was he knew immediately that it was serious, and they bring the card out for him, and then Jalen Carter getting tossed. And hearing from Jalen Carter in the locker room afterward, I give him credit for talking. I saw that there were some reports on social media that he had left the building, but he was there at his locker, ready to talk, ready to address it. And he mostly expressed remorse for leaving his teammates hanging in that situation. He did not take any bait about Dak Prescott spitting in his direction. Didn't really say that justified anything on his end. He really just talked about, again, how he hated that he let the team down in that scenario. So I thought he took accountability. I give him credit again for being upfront. I think that Les can attest, these guys, the worst thing they can do is not be at their locker after something like that. If they let that build up over the course of a few days or a week or two, that really does kind of add fuel to the fire. So I think it was smart for him to come out, and he did take accountability to his teammates, I would say is the message that I got from him.
And what did his teammates say about it, and what did Nick Sirianni say about it?
So Moro Ajomo was kind of defending Jalen Carter as the scrum swarmed around him. He wanted more. He wanted Jalen Carter to get more space. Jalen Hurts opened his press conference talking about, I have it written here. It was discipline and focus were the two things that he said that really were front of mind for him at the end of this game. And I think that was alluding to Jalen Carter. He talked about the fact that he spoke with Jalen Carter after the game. He didn't really get into what he said to him, but he really did harp on that discipline and focus aspect, in his post-game presser. And then Nick Sirianni, unsurprisingly, said that the conversations and how they'll handle that internally will be kept in-house, but said that they need Jalen Carter out on the field and said that they need to clean those things up. So definitely they addressed it. Maybe not as much detail as people will want, but yeah, they did. It does seem like something that they will address and have addressed already.
All right, let's then go to the other Jalen. And as you talked about him, I mean, from our vantage point, Jalen Hurts was awesome tonight. Tell us what you saw on the field. And I know that the offense only scored 3 points in the second half. Did it look like there was stuff that they were missing downfield, or was this just the case of the Cowboys defense being a little bit better than we expected?
Yeah, I thought the Cowboys defense did a good job. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and even Jahan Dotson talked about the Cowboys' match coverage is really doing a good job taking routes away downfield. And we saw that the after effect was that a lot of it fell on Jalen Hurts' plate to create out of structure, which again is something we've seen from this Eagles offense a lot over the last few years. And honestly, I thought that this was about as good as Jalen Hurts has looked as a scrambler in the last few years, and not necessarily a designed runner, a part of the run game, but really just making you right even when you're wrong. Even when the Cowboys match coverages took away the concept, it did seem like he was able to keep them out of trouble and make big plays. And yeah, no, I think that was a big part of it. He talked about that after in the press conference and said that, that's something that just kind of happens. It's not like he had been making a point of going out there and scrambling. But again, I think the game kind of called for that because there wasn't a rhythm to the passing game for most of the second half. There weren't very many apparent obvious answers downfield. Like, I spent a lot of this game watching AJ Brown from the press box. I wanted to see if there were opportunities for him. And it's not to say that there were never opportunities or windows for him, but I do think that, again, the Cowboys secondary did a good job with the match coverages, trying to take away some of those primary reads and make Jalen Hurts kind of extend plays and, play out of structure.
EJ, do you think AJ is really 100%?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, when he goes through warmups and when he runs his routes, he doesn't look hampered by the hamstring. He doesn't look like he's really slowed down by it. But I mean, it is hard to believe that he can go through this game, get his first target with 1:45 left in the game. Jalen Hurts called that one of the most important. I think he might have said it was the most important play of the game for the record. But again, his usage definitely stands out. Nick Sirianni talked about that. He kind of took umbrage with the fact that he was asked about Jalen Carter and then AJ Brown's lack of usage. He kind of pivoted. I would call it or maybe a filibuster from him about Jahan Dotson, the big catch that he had, and kind of pointing. Yeah, no, it was a big play, but again, AJ Brown's usage. I think we all know that for this team to really fire on all cylinders, you need AJ Brown to be a bigger part of things. And yeah, I think that is one of the few valid critiques of the first Kevin Patullo game. I thought he did a nice job. I thought he worked in some nice elements to the offense, but you can look at AJ Brown's usage and go, that is something that as a play caller, you need to prioritize at some point, especially AJ has talked so much about he likes to get the ball early. He likes to get into a rhythm early in the game. The fact that they weren't able to do that and then they kind of let it fester throughout the game, I do think that is something they need to improve on.
EJ, we haven't talked about this much tonight, but I'm curious your observations in stadium. The offensive line, look, they didn't play in the preseason. This is part their preseason. I thought the Dallas defensive line did a pretty nice job against the Eagles offensive line. What did you notice in stadium? Was it, up to their standards or a little bit below their normal standards?
Yeah, there were stretches in that first half where it felt like they were winning up front. But even then, I felt like Saquon Barkley did a nice job of getting extra yards from what was blocked for him a lot throughout this game. I remember I turned to Rich a couple of times and I was like, that's like the best 4-yard run you're ever going to see, or that's like the best 6-yard run, like the amount that he had to create for himself there. So yeah, I definitely don't think it was necessarily the performance we are used to seeing from the Eagles offensive line. Obviously, Landon Dickerson, midway through the second quarter and pretty much beyond from there, you could tell that the back injury was really affecting him. He was grabbing at his back, just seemed uncomfortable between plays. So I'm sure that contributed some to it. But yeah, I mean, the Dallas defense did a good job up front probably better than we expected. And honestly, I thought it was Solomon Thomas that gave them more problems than Kenny Clark, which, I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing if you're the Eagles' interior line. But yeah, no, they did a better job than we expected. Obviously, it's been a big priority for them going into this game. And yeah, I think that some of it might be down to the fact that Landon Dickerson did come into this game with really two separate injuries, kind of limiting him.
And real quick, EJ, did Landon talk in the locker room? Is there any kind of updates? Nothing? Any
No, I didn't. He was out. He was out of there by the time that we got in there. I talked to Brett Toth about kind of what it was like to watch Landon behind the scenes the last couple of weeks, and he basically said what you'd expect, that he didn't really. You kind of don't think he's going to play, but you also do because you've seen him play through so much. And Brett Toth talked about the value of getting first team reps in preparation for this game, and how that maybe helped him have a more seamless transition into the game. Again, I want to watch the tape to see how he played. He said that he was pretty happy with the way that he played, and said that the reps with those guys was a big part of it. So yeah, it's definitely an important thing to keep an eye on to see. Honestly, my guess is that this is going to be the Landon Dickerson experience this year. Unfortunately, I think coming into the season with these injuries, I think he's tough enough. He's not going to want to come out of it. He's not going to want to miss a game if he can play, but you might have some of these games where he tweaks something and he's going to miss time. Again, it's more of a credit to the fact that he's out there in the first place.
Hey, EJ, I got another question.
No, go ahead.
I got another question. What's the feel in the locker room on being how Jihad played? Like, because to us, he played out of his mind, played fast, played confident, and I think he played, 51 snaps?
Yeah.
Like, what's the talk about that in the locker room?
I mean, he is rangy, and I think the players really, as you know, Vinny, like the players can see that he is just different at that position. So there's a lot of excitement for him. He had a big media scrum around him today, and yeah, it was well deserved. I mean, I tweeted this, like I felt like that play that he had, I don't remember the Cowboys. It's like the Cowboys backup tight end. The play that he had, the PBU against that guy up the seam, like I thought it was a defensive back or a safety at first, the way that he was moving down the field. And, the fact that he has that range, it's impressive. I feel like this Eagles linebacking core, you start to think about some of those tough tight end matchups. They really can be the eraser in the middle of the field against those guys. I'm really curious to see how Vic Fangio kind of adapts his scheme to account for the fact that he's got those two guys that can take up so much space in the middle of the field.
Yeah, there was one of those plays. I think it was the Reed Blankenship penalty where Dak goes down the field, where I think Jihad Campbell's running with George Pickens, like one-on-one. And
I mean,
step for step with him.
It's not surprising, too, because we saw him do it in the summer, and it stands out, pops out to you, even if you're just sitting on the sideline. Like, he is one of those guys that jumps out to you, and it showed today. I don't know if he's going to get that forced fumble, though. As much as for Swooper, I'd love for him to have it.
I don't know if he's
this,
EJ.
They go your tiebreaker right there.
Vinny's trying to give it to the Jersey guy. He's going Jersey instead of.
I mean, they gave it to him on the. I mean, it probably takes a lot to overturn something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I looked like Byron Young was the one who got the punch out, doesn't it?
I thought so.
I don't know.
I did
I
too.
Listen, I hope you're right.
What did you attribute?
Vinny knows better than us.
What do you
we should
attribute
trust Vinny on this one.
The second half defensive turnaround to? I mean, other than CeeDee Lamb just dropping a bunch of balls.
Well, that was a big part of it. I think that's probably the first part. And the second part is that they cut down the penalties, the pass interference penalties, and obviously the unsportsmanlike calls. The Nolan Smith one, I thought that was ticky-tack. I feel like that was them trying to get control of the game. And you guys made a great point. Like Tyler Guyton just completely decks Jalix Hunt with like a left haymaker. So, I don't know about that, the Nolan Smith one, but I think that it really was penalties. And Cooper DeJean said that Vic Fangio talked to them and basically said exactly that. Like, we have to cut out the mental mistakes and just get into the game that way. And I think that they did a much better job with that in the second half. I'm curious. I not to rehash things that you guys have talked about, but I'm curious what Fran said about the coverage plan with having Quinyon following George Pickens instead of CeeDee Lamb. I asked Quinyon about it, and he just said basically they told me I was following Pickens, and that was that. But it didn't seem like they really shaded the coverage towards CeeDee Lamb in a way that we expected them to. It seemed like they really did have Adoree Jackson in some precarious situations. Obviously, he had a rough game, although he did say that he'd give himself a C for his performance against the Cowboys after the game. Yeah, he said he'd give himself a C. So take that for what you will. But I was a little surprised with the plan. But again, it worked in the second half.
He's naming himself captain.
Yeah.
He said he'd give himself a C, and then he said, honestly, one of my personal favorite lines, C's get the grease. And boy, I am living, breathing proof that is the truth.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
EJ, does my boy Quinyon need to get on the jugs machine a little bit?
Oh, we hadn't talked about
man.
this.
What's
What's
going on with my boy, man? Come down with
That pick
these.
was great.
Yeah, I mean, that went right through his hands. Yeah, it's funny because that was a big storyline all summer is that this guy's been working on his hands. He's been doing the tracking exercises. He's really working on that, but it did not show up. I mean, yeah, he didn't have his best game tonight, especially
Right.
you'd like to think that. Yeah, you'd like to think that he could just lock up Pickens in this scenario and kind of let that one side of the field not be a worry. So, yeah, not his best game. I don't know if I'm sounding an alarm or anything like that quite yet, but yeah, he wasn't the Quinyon type of performance we came to expect last season.
Yeah, that drop was.
Did have a forced fumble, a fumble recovery.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but
he couldn't
fumble
afford
recovery.
the tackle from Dak Prescott.
I was
Come
just
on.
going to say, we haven't really talked about that, but Dak Prescott kept
Game-saving play.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
The Eagles would have been up 11, and they probably would have cruised pretty easily after that. Had Dak Prescott not gotten in there and tackled
And that
Quinyon Mitchell.
we still would have been. Hey, what did you do during the lightning delay, EJ?
Yeah.
I did an AMA in the Discord for a little while.
Nice.
Wow, become a
posted-
diehard. Great reason to become a diehard. And every time from now on, this is a promise. Every lightning delay, EJ will do an AMA.
Honestly,
In the
I
Discord.
listen. Passes the time. I did that. I talked to Handsome Rich, and I did a little bit of writing. That was pretty much it.
Well, EJ, how was the spread tonight? Did you have any snacks during the lightning delay?
It wasn't the most amazing spread.
Wow.
On banner
Our friend-
night?
Wow, on banner night.
Michael Jordan's in
Yeah,
the
it
house?
was-
Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were giving Michael Jordan what they gave us. But listen, I'm not the type of guy that likes to complain about free food. But yeah, let's just say I've had better spreads here at the Link.
That's disappointing.
Wow.
The Link isn't known for great. They don't do it up like some cities do.
It's true.
Yeah, the
best thing they
Dallas
used to
guys are
have was the
probably
1
really
o'clock game,
disappointed.
Omelet bars.
Omelet bar.
The omelet bar was strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, EJ. Well, any final thoughts? Anything that you learned in the locker room that you haven't been able to tell us yet, or anything that's just percolating?
Let me look through my notebook here. Yeah, the fact that they didn't shade was surprising to me. No, I think we hit most of it. I'm excited to get through. If we didn't hit it here, I'll put it in my story for tomorrow morning. How about that?
We'll make sure that everybody checks that out on allphly.com. You can
Dak
read
spit first, EJ.
EJ's.
Yeah, he did. I love how the footage came out like an hour after everybody had already declared Jalen Carter like an enemy of the state. So,
All right, EJ. Thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow, or I guess today, in 12 hours at 2 o'clock.
Oh man,
for our show with Fran. We look forward to it.
Take it easy.
Yep, looking forward to it. All right, guys.
All right.
See you.
I think the only other thing that we have to do is our tush push counter. Two for two tonight. So we're gonna keep track of these all season long. 2 for 2 for the Eagles on the tush push tonight.
Okay, what do you rate? All right, before we leave, where do you rate the tush push celebration?
That was pretty strong.
That was a
by
good
the
one.
defense.
I like that.
Quinyon was directing it. He was like, "Everybody, go, go, go,
And
go, go!"
at first, I was like, "What are we doing?" Like, defense has been playing terribly. Like, we're just gonna we're gonna all of a sudden get into a team celebration. I was like, "What are we doing?"
On my way here, I knew you was thinking that though.
But then, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
That's the first thing I say when you open the elevator. What you thought about the tush push?
Yeah, yeah.
Celebration. I knew you was
It was
thinking
good.
that.
I thought it was pretty good, but they didn't even show it. At
NBC
first on the
blew
broadcast.
it.
They blew it. Yeah.
I sat in those trucks for many years. I bet the producers were pissed they didn't catch that in the better. Oh yeah,
I thought
there was definitely some yelling in the
That
truck.
was pretty good. So 2 for 2 on the tush push. We're happy about that. All right. Well, what a game it was. What a night it was. It's almost 2 a.m. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
The tush
yeah.
push. By the way, I don't
Your
know if you guys
boy.
noticed. Yeah,
Your
Darius
boy.
Cooper was in on the second tush push, made a huge block. Darius Cooper,
Woohoo.
key to the game tonight.
Is he number 80 now?
80.
Yeah.
It feels right.
He's a first down machine.
Yeah, he's doing that dirty work.
That's my guy. Yeah. All right. So the Eagles the defending Super Bowl champions start the season 1-0. Jalen Hurts, awesome. Jalen Carter, regrettable. Everything else, a work in progress. We'll see what happens as the season goes on. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you to Julia and Ethan behind the scenes.
Thank you to our new supporters club, friends.
Thank you to the new supporters clubs. You can be doing guys. You can say, I heart you. You can, what else do we have?
We got Quinyon Bay.
Quinyon Bay.
I
got Saquon.
Saquon.
Tonight was, I thought EJ's description of those like 4 6-yard runs was very good with Saquon, where it was not a Saquon game, but it was like a Saquon.
Yo, and then I got another one for y'all. So when we was up there, I got my chicken tenders in. I said, "Okay, AJ." Yo, he looked good running the ball as well. Just
the
has
AJ Dillon
I'm telling
run.
you,
Yeah, that was a nice run.
Yeah, it was. I said, "Okay, AJ."
You were the only one who said that tonight, given the fact that AJ Brown got 1 target. But yeah, there you go. Les Bowen, thank you for joining us.
Good to be here, even in the middle of the night.
Wonderful to have you. Jamie Lynch, Vinny Curry. We will be back next Sunday when the Eagles play a Super Bowl rematch against Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and of course, Super Bowl MVP Xavier Worthy. That's right. Next 4:25, that game will be coming. But of course, we've got you covered for every weekday until then. Live tomorrow at 2 o'clock, doing the film review with Fran and EJ. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are closing in on 50,000. We want to get there. Let's get there before the Super Bowl rematch. That's what I think.
Indeed.
We will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.